Well, hi, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Sunday afternoon, which means that we are going to be talking about coping with stress. And believe you me, I've had my fair share of stress this week. So I definitely am going to be um, walking my talk this week. And a very big welcome to all of you. For those of you watching for the first time, Dear Mama Sal is a group of people who get together 3 times a week, and we talk about life and how we cope with our feelings. We do that on a Friday lunchtime. We talk about coping with life on a Friday evening. And then here on Sunday afternoons, we talk about coping with stress. And the idea is that we do it so that we can just calm ourselves down for the coming week. Hi, Jody, and thank you for the kind comment. I'm very excited. I'm going to do it in a second, but I got. I know what's in this box because I had to open it. But it's just like I thought I would show you all. And Jody, you will be as excited as I am, so that probably tells you what's in there. Actually, I have another box, and I also have an envelope that I'm going to open. I just want to check whether it's something I should be opening on a broadcast or not. And I did write to Nolene, who sent it to me, but I haven't had an answer, so I'm going to make an executive decision whether it is something. Wow. Okay, that's not a good idea because now I'm going to cry. Okay. All right, so I'm going to share that. Isn't this beautiful? At the front of it says, and isn't it just such a beautiful card? And I've got a feeling she actually made it. But it says, you have so much courage, strength, and bravery. And then inside it says to Sal, keep taking one step, 1 hour, 1 day at a time, and you will get through this. You are the one person that I know who can do this. Big hugs. And now, of course, I'm crying. Yeah, it really is a beautiful, beautiful card, isn't it? Okay, get a grip, Sal. So we're going to be talking today a little bit about empathy. And I wanted to give thanks to my very kind viewers. Owing to the fact that I had to deal with rather a lot of loss this week, I just wasn't able to do 2 broadcasts on Friday. I needed to cancel the second one. And it's not, it's just like, I knew that I could do it, but my heart wouldn't be in it. And I decided, no, I'm not going to do the broadcast. I'm going to take some time for me. And I'm really glad that I did, because I'm feeling a whole lot better, as you can probably see and hear, except for the fact that I'm crying. But that's good tears, not sad ones. Hi, Isabel. Good to see you. Well, I managed to get a couple of things out of storage. And I'm glad that you guys like this color on me. It's part of my sort of winter wardrobe. And, I will do the female thing and tell you it's as old as the hills. But, I can't throw it away because I do believe it looks good on me. And I haven't been able to find one that I like any better. So, it's like the tartan cardigan that I have that you all love so much at Christmas time. Again, old as the hills. But perhaps this is the lesson. I'm inclined not to buy things that are fashionable. I buy things that I know suit me and will last me many seasons. In other words, this never goes out of style. Do you know what I mean? Hi, Chip. Good to see you. This never goes out of style. And, you know, you can put a scarf on it and do all sorts of things, and it just looks really pretty. And you can put, yeah, if you want to wear necklaces or anything, you can put it over the top. And so, you know, the same with the tartan, red and black tartan cardigan that I wear at Christmas time. That's never going to go out of style. It's always going to be elegant, and it's always going to be the ideal thing to wear at Christmas. So, or during Christmas week, coming up rather soon, people. So here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, Dear Mama Sal is a group of people who get together, and what we're doing is helping you cope, and also helping those, you know, around you cope. And part of the reason that I wanted to make a thing about empathy was the level of empathy I felt from the viewers who understood that I was just overloaded on Friday. Really touched my soul, as it always does. And I really, really thank you for that. In case you don't know, I'd just like to put up a disclaimer at the front to let you know that I am just a human being. Any sort of views that I have on things in terms of dealing with stress or anything else, and not those of somebody with a piece of paper that says I'm super intelligent. They come from a person who's lived enough years to get here that looks like this. And there's another point. How many of you remember my comment about the fact every now and then I will flip my hair over the other way to help keep the body on it? So can you see I've done that this week? Normally it's this way, but what I've done is I've taken, you know, quite a bit of it and pushed it the other way. And therefore it gives it a different body. By the time I push it back over this side tomorrow, you know, this will have different strength to it. I don't know why it works, but it works for me. And the other thing is, I just wanted you all to know, if you have a subject about which you'd like me to speak, please write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com. And then I will, I also agree with you, if it's something I go, oh yes, I'm pretty certain my viewers will want to do some work on that one, then I will add it to the list. And by the way, we're all here to work on ourselves. We're not here to be as good as Mama Sal, or for those of you who know Jody is our admin and does an unbelievable job of supporting me and our viewers. And it's not about competition. It is about, we're all working on ourselves. And you're going to hear me talk about fitness and stuff. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I am trying to get healthier. And thank you, Jeannie. It's nice of you to say that. I appreciate the comment on my hair. It's just like, yeah, right. I think it, quite honestly, Jeannie, I sort of threw it all together and I went, actually, that doesn't look too bad. I think I'll just keep it like that. You know, I do these things to amuse myself. If you're watching in the background, and I can see quite a few of you are, welcome. And we always love having people watch us. Quite honestly, if you want to participate, that's great. And if you're happy in the background and want to stay there, that's also great. We're just happy that you're here. And just do know, though, if you come in and do the chat, understand that what I have to say will continue in on the replay when it goes up on the replay. And so if there's anything there you just want to tell the room, but not necessarily have me repeat it, just put a note at the front end to say, Sal, don't repeat this, so that I know I can read it, but I won't put your name to it. I might later refer to a viewer or something and do it that way. So there you go. I just want to remind you, if you haven't, please make sure you subscribe here. And also click the bell. The bell's going to ask you, do you want all the notifications? And the answer is yes. And the reason for that is if I need to cancel a broadcast or put an extra one in, that's where I'll be doing it. And I did think, and I probably put this up as a question on Facebook. Oh, by the way, make sure you follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Dear Mama Sal. The reason is because I do little surveys and things every now and then to find out what people want. And I'm going to be putting one up to see what day everybody would like me to do a broadcast on. Hang on a second. What day is Christmas on? I can't even remember. Isn't that ridiculous? Hold on a second. So Christmas is on a Friday. And that's what I wondered. And I wondered how many of you, I'm not sure whether even I'm going to be here on Christmas Day. I'll let you know that this week. But the interesting thing is, I wanted to know if I am going to be here, would you like a broadcast on Christmas Day, or would you prefer it, because we normally do two, or would you prefer to do it on another day? And I will put up a survey on that one during the week, especially if Jody reminds me. So we're going to be talking about empathy and love. And the reason I wanted to do that is because of what happened to me. As some of you know, a very dear friend of mine, as far as I know, he's in the operating theater right now, having a brain tumor operated on. And, it was like, it made me realize what we would normally do pre-pandemic and what we're limited in doing now that the pandemic's here, and how helpless that makes us feel. And I was thinking very selfishly how I felt, and then I tried to imagine what it must be like for my friend Patty, because she can't even be at the hospital to be there when he comes to, and all that sort of thing. And it's just like, I don't know about you, but it's just, I'm thinking about Lolo and Baba, dealing with his stuff. And it's just like, it is very, very, it's bad enough without all of this, but it is what it is, and we need to cope with it. And I would like to say that I have thoughts and prayers for anybody who's dealing with this. And what I wanted to say was, I certainly had an eye-opening week of realizing that this lockdown makes grieving very difficult. And it makes supporting very difficult as well, particularly for those of us who are tactile people. I'm known for giving some of the best hugs in the business. And who do I get to hug? And I want to tell you that I went out yesterday specifically to go and hug the one person that I, because I live on my own, I'm allowed to have a bubble of two people that I can visit, because they realize, and I want to talk about that as well, that they realize that if you live on your own in this pandemic, then the price you will pay on your mental health, unless you're pretty amazing, is it really is difficult. And I want to tell you, it creeps up on you. I didn't realize it was creeping up on me the way that it was, but I do know that I got triggered by the deaths and the cancer things going on. And I just went, I have to stop. I have to stop and get control back, because I could feel that vortex just pulling me down. And I didn't want to be there. I've been there in my life, and I didn't want to go there again. And so thank you for giving me the time, and hopefully you will understand that it's okay if it happens to you. I always say to people, it's okay to get stressed. It's okay to get overwhelmed. How long are you going to stay there? And do you know what to do when it happens? So if any of you are dealing with any major stress right now, talk about it, if you will, just so we can help other people as well. I wanted to just say also that, if I can hang on, arthritis is a terrible thing when you want to cross your fingers. I got my fingers crossed that everything goes well for the rollout of the vaccine. And I just wanted to say, those of you who are high up on the list, I pray everything goes well, and that there are not too, the after effects are not too bad. I got, I sort of do a bit of reading, and every now and then a quote will hit me, and I thought, boy, isn't that the truth? And funny enough, it came from Melinda Gates, Bill Gates' wife. And I saw that she said that the two leadership traits that best managers exhibit are empathy and love. How about that? And because I was so stunned with that as a quote from her, I carried on, reading a bit more and a bit more. And I found out some incredible things about them. And I thought that you would like to, if you don't already know, that you probably would enjoy hearing about it. Number one, did you know that they actually got married in Hawaii many years ago, back in the 60s, I think. But to keep the wedding private, Bill booked out all the rooms in the hotel. But the other thing was, he also booked every helicopter on the island so that nobody could, be visiting and decide to take a little looky-loo of their wedding. And I thought that was really, and goodness only knows what that cost, but I thought that was pretty good. Our first quote today about empathy is this. It's empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. So one of the joys about empathy, it's not about us, it's about them. That we can ask enough questions, we can care enough to hear and understand their point of view. And I think that is really important. Okay, Jeannie's just saying, for those of you who don't know, Jeannie and I have something in common. And by the way, everybody, for those of you who are watching Friday lunchtime, I did manage to get Jeannie's bangle on. And for those of you who weren't there, it actually says, life is tough, but so am I. And the reason I'm saying that is both Jeannie and I have something in common, and that is our houses caught fire this year. And Jeannie's whole house was devastated and gutted. I was very lucky. The majority of my house is fine. I have, even so, I have over $100,000 worth of cost involved in it. But so I just wanted to say, Jeannie, I managed to get it on and I think it was fine. I was scared to open it up a bit, because I wasn't sure what it was made of, would it break? But I decided to take the gamble and I, did manage to get it on. So thank you very much indeed. So think about that, right? The empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. And that requires that we ask enough and stay away from our stuff enough. And I really thank you all for all you did to support me. All right, Jeannie's saying, we have an agent working for us who deals with our insurance, and we've been offered a pitiful amount after the insurance took off about 50% of some of the items that are antiques and cannot be replaced. I wrote saying we think there may be age discrimination. Yes, how many years old does an item need to be to become an antique? Is it 50 or 100? I'm certain Jody will have a quick look for us on that one. The thing is that all right, Jeannie's saying our agent thinks our insurance can do better for us, and we have waited so long for the monies. Yes, you have. So, that's why it's always important, to have a third party person handling it. Not, even though they may be employed by the insurance company, the fact that third party gives them a little bit of leverage. Jody confirms, thank you, Jody, that it's a piece of furniture needs to be 100 years old. I'm nearly antique, people. Needs to be 100 years old to be classed as antique. And so, unfortunately, Jeannie, that's part of life, that it is, they will pay you as little as possible. We know that. They will want to pay me as little as possible. And, it's just like, you are paying the man. Okay, good for you. So you got somebody in to fight for you. That's very clever. I'm very proud of you for doing that. Because it's too emotional for you, all right? And so that's good that you're doing that. Interesting about hang on a second. Melinda Gates. One of the things that she said was when she started working at Microsoft, and she said she was definitely attracted to his brilliant mind. But she said beyond that, his curiosity. And she said, and he has a huge sense of fun. Now, how many of you would imagine that Bill Gates actually has a huge sense of fun? And I think the day that maybe we all got an inkling of that was when they were doing the ice bucket challenge, right? The extreme lengths he went to do that challenge, to set it up on his dock and have a whole contraption overhead. And, I looked at that and I thought, boy, he could have done that in a much easier way, but he obviously had a lot of fun setting all that up and making it a media moment to help raise money. And I always thought that was wonderful. But I thought you'd like to know that, because I don't think that we know Bill Gates for being somebody who is mischievous. And he apparently is quite mischievous. And he has this sort of quirky sense of humor that most of us don't get to see. And she said, and I thought this was really cute. She said, Bill asked she said, he said, could we go out in 2 weeks from tonight? And apparently she replied, 2 weeks from tonight? I have no idea what I'm doing 2 weeks from tonight. And by the way, you're not spontaneous enough for me. And so apparently what he did is he phoned her that night and said, okay, is this spontaneous enough for you? Yes, and Janie's saying, I adore my husband because of his sense of humor and his intelligence. He is so kind. Yes, and I'm pretty certain that Jody would say exactly the same things of Lionel, all right? And that, it's very important to have somebody in your life with that sort of sense of humor. Empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. And so remember that, right? Empathy, as I said, is not about us. It is about being able to walk in somebody else's shoes. And quite honestly, we know that's impossible. But that is why to ask the right questions is really important when you want to have empathy. And don't say, I know how you're feeling because it happened to me, because you don't know how they're feeling, because the same hasn't happened to you. You just had your version of it. And you had your version of it when you were in this state of mind or whatever. And so that is why it is so important to get into the mind of the other person. Coping, we know, is, and I always quote this from Wikipedia, coping means to invest one's own conscious effort to solve personal and interpersonal problems, and in order to try and master, minimize, or tolerate stress and conflict. And so I had to do a lot of things between Friday lunchtime and now to get myself back in order. And I'm going to be talking about that. But before I do, how many of you want to know what's in here? Doom, 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 doom. All right, any guesses? Small box, that big reward. Oh. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who like this color, what did I do with it? I want to, there we are. I kept it here. It is one of those, is it Stila? Okay. Jody will let everybody know. One of those, and they're all chocolate flavored, by the way, and I thought, boy, that would go really well. And from the input from you guys, I guess it did. and that's great. However, in here, Steeler. Okay, thank you, Jody. What would I do with it? I don't want to know. All right, so Jody very kindly gave me a link because how many of you remember I was saying that my lip balm was running out, as you can see. Now, you all know, those of you who are regulars, I use what's left in here as lip gloss. I buy lip glosses that are colorless, basically, and then I mix them up with this, and then I make colored. Hi, Katie, good to see you. And that's what I do. So the rest of that will become lip gloss. All I do is get some lip gloss, rub it around there, and then I use it. However, the lip balm itself, I really did enjoy having it. And so Jody sent me a link to someplace, and they literally had these lip balms at a ridiculous price. And they're all Revlons. And they were like $5 each. No, $3 each. And even with shipping, they turned out to be about $5 each. And to buy, because I checked, to buy Revlon on Amazon costs about, for the same thing, cost high there in the UK. Elvira Red? Hi. So I just wanted to let you know that was an incredible deal, and I wouldn't have got it without Jody's help. So now the question is, knowing you guys, I could open them all up. That would take time. But what I thought was I would show you. Let me open one. Okay, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one would you like to contrast with this? Do you think that this would be a good contrast with it, or this one, or this one? I don't think it would be those, right? So hang on a second. Which one? So this is 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to put it in the center. Or I take the whole lot off and put it on instead. Boom, 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 boom. Jody says this one. Jeannie says this one. Okay, so, well, we could sort of play a game here, couldn't we? Now, let me see what I can do. Yeah, 2 of them say the right-hand one. Okay, well, let's do that. Popular vote and democratic group of viewers at the moment. All right, so do you want to have all of it taken off or just put it on in the center? Of course, I've got to open it first, people, which for me isn't as easy as it sounds. Yeah, and guess what? They didn't make it easy either. Oh, we got 2 all now. Wait, okay, fine. Hang on a second. Is it? That works. Okay, so this is this one. I'll tell you what. We'll do both. Hang on a second. I do one on the top, one on the bottom. What do you think? We can do that, right? Okay, so this is, I know you're going to ask what the name of it is. Can I even see it? I don't even know if this is the right way up. Oh, there we go. No, that way. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, I like that. What do you think, people? I like that. Okay. Let's try and get rid of this plastic wrapping. I'm getting very upset these days about how much plastic is in my life, and I'm trying to minimize it. But okay, so that one and it feels good too. 255, thank you. Okay, so now then the other one. So you all get the color? Nice color, huh? And so now I'm going to take this off and show you the other one. Hold on a second. mind you, knowing that this is on my skin, not on yours. And then what I'll do is I'll put them both on my hand so you can see the difference. Okay. Yeah, I like that too. All right, so this is the, this number is 205, Revlon, Color Blast. Yeah, I like that. Good choice. Actually, they're both good choices, so thank you, people. Hang on, I'm going to put the other one on as well, just so you can see the difference. So this is 205. Definitely glad I chose that. And then this one was 255, right? So you see the difference. But funny enough, this slightly pinky one, actually, I think sort of looks good because of what was there to start with. So, yeah, softens. All right, so there we go. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, no, I'm not getting paid. Obviously, I'm not getting paid by Revlon because I got these on a deal and it wasn't from Revlon. So for $15, how many of you are going? You might have to wait until summer for that one, people, but I could be wrong. So I tried to get what I call a cross section. Wear them in good health. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, I got a tip for you before I do the next unboxing, because do any of you have a problem when you open something and then you can't open it up? What do you think? Do any of you have that problem? You know, you have to cut the top off it and then you're sort of going, I found a hack for that. What I do is I get it open, obviously. I open it up. Okay. And then I cut out, I don't know if you can see that, I cut out a little bit in the center. Can you see that? Hang on a second. Can you see where I've cut out that little tab right there? And all I do is literally, you know, go boom, boom, and then I cut across it. Now, when I go to open up this bag, guess what? Put my hand here in the center, because the tab tells me where to hold, and then I can pull it open. Do I hear stealth? I really should do it, a hack type channel, right? But it works, which is why I'm sharing it with you. All right, now I also got another box, and I thought I would share this with you just because it's all part of Christmas. And again, it's about two things. Oh. All right, I broke my own rule. I said I was not going to buy stuff that I knew I already had, you know, but it's in storage. And I broke my own rule on that one. So first of all, what I bought was I bought some little boxes, gold boxes, so I could put some cookies or cupcakes. I'm thinking about doing some cupcakes, but then I realized I didn't have any of my cupcake things. So I bought a little box with some in. Now, this is absolutely an insane waste of money, except I realized that I was getting stressed because I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. However small they were, I couldn't do them because everything was in storage. And I went, you know something? I'm just going to spend the money. So I bought a little thing, and it's got giant size cupcake things. And Jody, I think one of them, And I think that's why... It was such fun. I think one of them... Oh, can you imagine what that's going to look like? Yeah. Now, knowing you guys, you're going to want me to see what all those look like. And you know how much stuff I will waste doing that. Look at how you do this. Imagine you unscrew one. Yes, you do. So well done. Good thinking. Unscrew it, drop this in, and then screw it back on. That's nice. I like these because they're big, but they've also got little ones. Little baby ones. Do they have an instruction manual that would show everybody? Yes. You want to see? Okay, so I don't know if I can get it close enough. That one that I said I thought would be interesting, Jody, you know how we discussed we wanted to be able to make those roses? Hi, Sarah. That's good, isn't it? And then that one is like a chocolate thing. Oh, that's pretty. Don't you like the yellow one? They're all. It's only the first page. There you go. Oh, look at that rose one. Don't know how to use that. Russian tips. Oh, is that what they are? Look at that one, Jody. Which one? No, that one. That's really pretty. Oh, isn't that exciting? And you can actually make, right, you can make a whole bunch of roses, for example. So, now I don't know about you, if you got one cupcake and it looked that pretty, you probably enjoy it, right? Is that what they're called? They're the Russian decorating. You're right, that's what they're called. So, now, you're coming over to play. I know, Jody, that's what I thought. So, when I saw them, I thought, I haven't got these, so therefore it was okay to buy them. Does that make sense? Because I don't actually have these Russian ones, it was okay for me to buy them. But how many of you would love a cupcake that would look that pretty? And hang on a second. Again, not getting paid by the people, but if anybody wants the link to what it was, I will gladly put it up. So, I'm going to have fun with them. You're right. And I don't already have these, so it's okay to buy it, right? I'm not wasting money. And then I will put them in these really cute little boxes. Hang on a second. That's what my thinking was. And quite honestly, by the time I finish Christmas, I'll probably be spending more this year, not spending money than I would normally. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is like a little treat box, two of them. And oh, they go together very easily, I think. Yeah. So like that, like that, like that. Okay. Nearly there, people. Bear with me. Requires a little bit of coordination. I like them. Now, I didn't put it together quite well enough, but you get the idea. Now, I don't know, but just that with some cookies and a couple of cupcakes. Nice little gift. And pretty. I'm happy. So you you now know that getting yourself out of a funk is about what are you going to do about it, right? Because I can either stay in the funk, and I'd have every reason to, or I can do something to get out of it. And this is what I'm doing to get out of it. Now, I did one other thing. You know, my friend Betty Ann, who's my neighbor at the new house, well, she has placemats. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. She has placemats. And they look like this. Aren't they cute? So what I'm doing is I'm going to make her a set of coasters. You know, I like to make coasters. I'm going to make a set of coasters with that wreath on it. Oops. You see the wreath that goes around? Oh, and by the way, you can't see it here, but the edge of this is all red. It has like a red outside. Oh, there you can. You can see it there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the glass, what do you call them? Coasters for her table, but I'm going to just duplicate that wreath. You know, they're too small to put the owl in it, but I could do the wreath and make it very pretty. I think it's an owl, quite honestly. Okay, so a Christmas owl. Now, do you think that that will please her? Not only that she gets some handmade art, but also that it actually matches what she's already got. So when I was there, and I'll talk about that in a second, but when I was there, I just quickly took a picture because I went, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. Now, will it take a lot of time? Yes. But I think, you know, it's worth it. She's been a really good friend to me during this difficult time. So remember what I said, is that thinking about things doesn't change anything. Doing something does. So the fact that I was down on Friday and I could feel it didn't mean that I gave up. It just meant that I needed to sit down and work out exactly where the pain was. And I realized that it was a very selfish thing because I just knew that I was feeling the pain of not being able to do what I would normally do, which is to get in the car and go and see my friend and sit with her in the hospital. And then I realized she can't even sit in the hospital. You know, so I couldn't be who I am. And that is what was upsetting me so much. And I just went, you know, you just have to do the best you can. And, you know, you're only responsible for your behavior, not anybody else's. So just do the best you can. So I text her a couple of times. And the other thing that I noticed, and I wanted to talk about this as well, is that I had spent probably nearly 2 weeks where I hadn't really been out and interacted with another human, with the exception of the guy from the management company of this apartment block who came in to deal with something. But other than that, I have not had any what I call social interaction. And so what I have decided is I am going back to having the Chinese dinner once a week. And by the way, it just so happened that my friend Betty Ann, who is my pod, you know, I'm allowed to have 2 people that I visit because I live on my own. And so I'm going to go and have Chinese dinner with them after the broadcast tonight. And then they also invited me for dinner on Monday, and I'm going to go. And I said, you know, seeing me 3 times in 1 week, you know, it's a bit overload. But, you know, I went to give her a hug because her son's father-in-law died of COVID this week. And I went to give her a hug because she was the one person I could go and give a hug to. And I realized how much I missed being able to hug people. And that's okay. That was part of my grief. And so instead of complaining about it and getting even more upset about it, I thought, don't work on what you can't do. I can't go and give my friend Patty a hug, but I can go and hug Betty Ann, and for sure she needs it. And so that's what I did. Barack Obama said, learning to stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins. And it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world. And does it mean you have to be perfect at it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So for those of you who've just come in and are watching on the outside, welcome. I just want to say, if any of you got any stress that you'd like to talk about, please make sure that you mention it, because I'm going to have to go pretty much on time today because I'm going out for dinner. And so the other question that I have is, think for a minute, what gift of me time are you going to give you this week? Now, you will remember that I gave myself the gift of not having to do a Friday evening broadcast, and to take that time to look after me and find out why I was hurting so much. And it just made all the difference. It's really strange. It really made a huge difference to me when I took that time and just said, okay, don't go and curl up in a ball and feel sorry for yourself. Work out why you are feeling so bad. And it was just, you remember what I said during the broadcast? It was hearing one bit and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. And I hate to say this, but under the general heading of be prepared, not scared, I've heard about 9 more deaths since then. Can you believe that? And that to me is devastating. And I want to remind you what Bill Gates said. Bill Gates said the next 4 to 6 months, I think he said 2 to 6 months, 2 to 4 months will be devastating. That's where the worst is going to happen, he reckons. In other words, the peak of the winter in the Northern Hemisphere, the peak of the winter and before the virus. And knowing as well, as I'm sure you all do, that even once we've got the virus inside us, the vaccine, once we got the vaccine inside us, we're still going to have to wear masks, and we're still going to have to be socially distant. So life as we knew it is going to probably not be in our scenario. Jeannie's saying, I felt sick on Saturday, so we both stayed quiet, relaxed, and did little. This morning I got up super early to go grocery shopping and buy your spiral ham. Yes, exactly. See, and this is the whole thing. Do what you need to do. This is going to be a very difficult Christmas for a lot of people. Jody's saying, I'm taking time to make homemade applesauce this week as a healthy treat. I'm also baking cookies and putting them in the freezer bank for Christmas week. That's my relaxing time. Yes, my problem is I make them and then I eat them. But maybe I'm not the only one. But my blood glucose is showing that. And, some of them have been quite tasty. So what gift, right? So you're going to give yourself some relaxation time. You're going to take some cookie time and use that as me time. I think as well, but, I think for me, the decorating will be me time. I think drawing those little wreaths on those coasters, I just realized, I wonder if my hand will be steady enough. But then I thought, I think what I'm going to do is take an upturned wine glass and just draw the wreath circle and then sort of work my way out from there. Because if the circle is a bit wobbly, I can put leaves over where it's a bit wobbly. That's what I was thinking. So here's the thing. My blood glucose definitely has gone up, and that's stressing me out a little bit. And then I thought about it and I went, gosh, imagine where it would be if I hadn't been doing the good things that I've been doing, because I have been doing some good things, even though I've been eating some bad things. So obviously, if I want to bring my blood glucose back under control, I did get it under control 2 days this week, I think. But, it's like, I've been asking people, and maybe I can ask you, the viewers, and if you're watching on the replay, perhaps you'd answer this as well. How many of you have put on weight during the pandemic? We've been in it for nearly a year now, 9 months, right? And so it's like, how many of you have put on weight? Because I realized maybe I wasn't the only one. Maybe this wasn't that I was failing. Maybe this was that everybody is putting on weight because there's a high stress. We're not getting the exercise we normally get, and those sort of things. So Isabel's saying she's put on weight. Yeah. And that's not that it makes it okay. It's about know that you're not alone. And that's what I want to make sure that people understand, that if you have put on weight, you're not alone. Only you can lose it. Only you can do, the right things. And I started today. Yes, Jeannie's saying both she and York have put on weight. I know that Jody did. And so, the point that I'm trying to make here is be aware. You're not alone. So don't beat up on yourself too hard. Now you're eating healthier. Yes, and that's what I've decided. I'm working on the principle that, really it's only about 10 more days of this. And then, I can, do a lot better. But this morning I got up and instead of, grabbing something sweet, I actually started with oats this morning, and I don't normally do that. And I went, okay, that's when I say this morning, my breakfast normally starts about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had an oat and banana smoothie this morning. That was breakfast for me. And now I'm going out for Chinese, but I didn't find that the Chinese spiked me too much. So unless I start gobbling up cookies again, I should be, a lot better. I hope so anyway. I've now got the quote from Bill Gates. Yes, he said the next 4 to 6 months could be the worst of the pandemic. And the question is, will it be the worst just for the American people? But, you got to think about, what about Africa? I don't think we've begun to see how bad it is there yet. Or how about India? All right. So you're looking at it that not only will it be bad for those of you who live in the US, and relatively so, it will be for those of us who live in Canada. But the difference is, that the US is up here somewhere and Canada is down here somewhere, but we're still seeing the spike as well. All right. It's just that we are that much lower down. But you're looking at it and you're going, if we know this is coming, if we know that it is coming, are you prepared to deal with it? In other words, get yourself emotionally ready for this to happen. And so that, the deaths that we're hearing about today, we're going to hear that many more. And we need to be ready to deal with it. Jeannie's saying, I made a hot and sour soup with ramen noodles, wholesome sauce, and some veggies for my health. Funny enough, I did that yesterday. I made a stir fry. Oh, no, I made a stir fry with bacon. I didn't actually have Yes, I did. No, I didn't. I was going to put noodles with it and I didn't put them in. But what I thought I would do is I have a little portion of noodles left over from something, and I thought what I would do is make a homemade chicken noodle soup. In other words, have a little bit of the noodles, but make it within a chicken noodle soup that I think I'm doing about Wednesday or so. Yes, and you did oven roasted onions, carrots, mushrooms, etc. today. Yeah, I did. As I said last night, I had the bacon and all the other vegetables, leeks and onions and broccoli and beans, green beans. I put those all into a Dutch oven and on top of the stove and just let them all permeate. And then when it was done, I put a little bit of sweet and sour sauce on it and some soy sauce. And I want to tell you, I devoured that whole bowl. I inhaled it. It was so good. So again, this week will require that I do more meal prepping because we know that works. And then, I really do need to stay away from the bags of candy. And the only way I can stay away from them is to get them wrapped up into the bags. And the bags, I believe, the plastic, the cello bags are coming on Tuesday. So that's how I'm looking at it. Any minute now, I will be able to get it all packed away. And then the candies will be in bags. And I probably won't want to open those up. I wanted to show you. Hang on a second. I just got to go and get something. All right, so this is, as you know, I like to make things. And so what I did is I bought these little containers and I love foaming things, right? Okay. But what I made was foaming disinfectant stuff, but I flavored it with rose. So I've got essence of roses in here so that when you actually disinfect your hands, so this is a disinfectant soap with with the scent of roses in it. And quite honestly, I did it so people could have it in their purses or their totes or whatever they take. And I thought that was I'm going to make a little label if the ink for my printer comes in time, and it may not. If not, it'll be a little handwritten note. But, it's just, and it's got a cap on it, so, it'll be safe in your purse. But I don't know about the rest of you. It would be nice if if you just needed to disinfect quickly, but it doesn't, but it smells nice. And anyway, but it is a soap. And I was actually really happy that I managed to get that together. So, and I bought, a dozen of these, and I bought a big thing of disinfectant soap. And the other thing is that it just is another thing that says, hey, I took the time to care, right? I didn't go and buy it all. And so it'll have hopefully a little label on it. Now, how am I putting the labels on? That would be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm waiting for it to arrive, but I bought some Scotch tape, the one that you'd wrap up packing boxes and things. And so what I will do is I will print out the label, cover it in Scotch tape, and then I got two things. I'm not sure which one will work best. Number one is to cut a little bit more of that Scotch tape and put it over the top. But I also have these double-sided glue tabs So they might work. I'll do, a test run and see which works best. Let me see what size that would be on here. I think 2 of them would be fine. Hang on. They don't. I told you it sounded easy. So much. 1. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work, people. But it's that room, that. Yeah, that's going to take a bit of work. Now I know putting it on straight from there doesn't work. Better to just make a little ball of it and put it on. Anyway, but it's that removable stuff. So we'll see. I think it'll go with the sellotape thing. And so to me, I'm going to have the chocolates. I'm scared to make more of that salted caramel. Because I know if I make that more of that salted caramel with toffee bits in it, I'm going to have to really pack that up and put it away before I eat it all, because the last batch I just ate the whole lot. And boy, it was so good. The other thing was that I had to buy myself some more silicone cupcake things. But again, I bought ones that I hadn't had before. I bought ones with some patterns on them and just made them slightly different. Yeah, the salted caramel, very clever. S-A-L, salted caramel. Yeah, that's actually, I will put it on like that. That's a very clever idea, Jody. Thank you. I hope that made you smile as well. So think about it. I have been, taking a number of steps towards Christmas, but what I've been doing is shooting myself in the foot as I do it, because I'm busy eating what I'm making. And yeah, you need to quality control. There's no doubt about it. You don't know whether that biscuit batch, that cookie batch actually tastes good unless you taste it, right? Whether it's worth doing. And so I realize that, but it's about quantity. And also, what are you doing? What are you eating over and above that? So now I'm going to really work on, getting up and having salads and good food and not sample too many. And, that's up to me. And also, drinking, I've already had 2 bottles of water today, but I obviously need to seriously ingest a lot of water. So, what do you think? I do believe that part of our challenge for the next couple of months is going to be to keep ourselves mentally healthy. I believe that, the effect of not being able to do Christmas in the usual way is going to have an effect on our mental health. And so, therefore, it's really important for us to be prepared to do the work. Find things to entertain you. Find things to entertain you. This would be, after you've finished with the Christmas stuff. The other thing is, I am now beginning to talk to the people for whom I will make gifts. Some of them I will need to, have them meet me somewhere, either come here and I will, pop out and drop it in their car or something. But I need to be able to do that. But I thought, maybe Muhammad goes to the mountain rather than the mountain goes to Muhammad, if I use that expression. Maybe I need to get out and go deliver these to my family and friends. When I say my family, my adopted family and friends, because that, is important. And I don't mind telling you, I got pretty stressed yesterday when I went to my very singed house, because what I noticed was that, I've got two lots of windows, right? They're double glazed. The condensation between the two windows is horrific. And the reason for that is because there is no heat in the house that is evaporating the condensation. And I think that's what's causing it. But literally, it is dripping down between those two panels. So one of the things that I have done is I've written to the insurance agent and said to them, I want to make sure that you guys know this is going on. And when the house is sealed again and warm again, we're going to have to take those windows and take the one level out and then sanitize inside. Otherwise, there's going to be a tremendous amount of mold. And I think that is, I'm glad I saw it, quite honestly, because otherwise I wouldn't have thought to document that. And I have. The other thing is they still haven't found my boots, my UGG-type boots and so forth. And I noticed they returned my long coat and my parka coat, but no gloves. I had gloves inside of both those. So I don't know where the gloves are. So I've written to the insurance company as well and said, they still haven't found my boots and my gloves. And so therefore, the weather has shifted dramatically. Am I, allowed to buy and shoot and gloves? Because I said to them, going out on the ice in my runners, my sneakers, perhaps isn't the best idea. So Jeannie is saying she's now got a fancy front door with a key. She's now got a new roof and the outer walls are up. Yes, they obviously have outer walls. That's awesome. So, it's, you're taking steps in a big way. Do you know when they're going to stop for the Christmas time, or are they going to work all the way through? And by the way, I wanted to add that I've got a scarf. That's okay. I've got a scarf. I've got an infinity scarf, so I'm happy with it. But I do need some gloves, and I will need. Now, we all know that I was shoveling snow in sneakers last year, so I can probably do it again, but I think it's a bit risky. I wanted to let you know that yesterday, or rather Friday, no, yesterday, was part of that whole, Friday, I was in such a funk that I didn't even exercise. And that was the first day in 30 that I didn't do at least 30 minutes on the Wii Fit thing. And I was really beating up on myself. And then this morning I got up and I said, you know something? I'm just going to do double. And I'm going to do double today so that my average is still 30 minutes a day. And that's what I did. All right, so you're saying your builder and wife took off the 14th to the 25th. Yes, I have a feeling that most contractors will do that. So they haven't started on my house now. They're probably not going to. That's what I'm thinking. They won't start until after Christmas. But I could be wrong. We'll see. I'm not going to, you know something? I'm not going to expect anything, and I'll be pleasantly surprised when it's happening. So, yeah, Jody, it was really a strange thing where I just went, you can beat up on yourself, but that's not going to help you. The way to do this is you need to compensate for having missed a day, and therefore you just need to double it up, and that's what I did. By the way, one of the reasons I knew that I needed to take some action on me and I needed, to do it seriously was my place was beginning to be a total mess. And I can tell where my mental health is because I don't take the time to tidy up as I go. And I can turn a place into chaos very quickly, very quickly. And that was one of the warning signs. When I saw that happening, I went, I've got a problem going on here. I need to get control. And only I can do it. I can complain about it. It doesn't matter if I got excuses. Excuses are not going to change anything. excuses. Oh, well, no wonder, because you heard of all the deaths and that. No, it's not going to change anything. The only thing that's going to change anything is if I do something about it. And so I've spent quite a bit of time, I'm looking around now, quite a bit of time just tidying things up. And I didn't try and do it all at once. I just said, every hour get up and go and tidy another area. You don't have to do it all, just tidy another area and keep working your way around. And that's what I did, one step at a time. And so I look at it and realize that it was my choice to see missing that day on WeFit as, a failure, or to do something to turn it back into a success. And, oh, that's interesting. Jeannie's saying York did laundry and I did dishwashing today. Another interesting thing about Bill and Melinda Gates, did you know that they share absolutely every non-paid household task equally? Did you know that? In other words, just because Melinda is a female doesn't mean she has to look after the kids, do this, do this, do this. They actually, and apparently she was instrumental in this, they actually literally divided up everything equally in terms of time and effort and importance. For example, they knew that because Bill was so busy, if they had kids, that he had to have the kids as part of his routine so that they grew up with a father. Isn't that interesting? And that was why part of his routine was to take the children to school every day, because he got time with them. And that was really important time. I thought it really interesting, and I don't know if you guys find it interesting, but one of the things that struck me as amazing was that the two of them together do the dishes every single night, and they do it together. And they said the reason that they do it is to make sure that their children learn what equality looks like. Equality is not the wife in the kitchen cooking and washing up. And I thought that was really mind-blowing that they would have done that. And they said they also made sure that the children knew that in their will, the children were adequately provided for. They will get, I think, 10 million each, but that's all. You say, is that all, Sal? No, that's all. When you realize that the foundation, when you realize just how much money the Gateses have, that 10 million to each child is like pocket money. So they didn't want the kids growing up thinking they were going to be billionaires, which was possible. And so they said, and not only that, they have done everything they possibly could to teach the children what equality looks like, what poverty looks like, what charity looks like, that they really are doing everything they can to make sure that they have children who understand that being blessed with good means you share it. And I thought that was such a good lesson. And I think, I'm pretty sure all my viewers will agree with me. Well-rounded upbringing, yes. And absolutely, Jeannie, it's funny you should mention that. Jeannie's saying, look at Judy and Benji. And I agree with you, because, you've heard me say time and time again that one of the things that always amazes me is how incredibly grounded those children, Benji and Judy's children, or the girls, are. And the reason they are so incredibly grounded is because, they are not spoiled. They are loved to bits. They are loved to distraction. And I want to tell you that part of the interesting transition that I had to make was, I now know what love looks like. and I say that because when I was brought up, little girls should be seen and not heard, and we were brought down to meet my parents, at certain times, and I lived in Downton Abbey, you know what I mean, or a miniature version of it, and it was just like I didn't see, and I found it really amazing when I first went to go and visit Benji and Judy, when I could see what that love looked like, and also the results of it. And I look at it and I go, I was very blessed. Don't get me wrong, very, very blessed. I went to very good schools, and I, had ponies, and, I had everything money could buy. But I really can see that, the difference in what that is. The interesting thing I also didn't know, and, it's amazing when I get on a mission when I do want to get do the prep for one of these broadcasts, but I didn't know they were Catholic. Did you? I don't know why. I'd never heard that before. Yes, and Jodie's saying it. They were, how the Benji and Judy's children are very respectful, and how the girls donate toys before they're given new ones. Yes. Yeah, and Jeannie's saying, Benji had Leah out the other day, and he told her, "You are beautiful, and I love you." Yeah, and I think it's very important that we remind each other. And when I say that, I'm really making a point now, because we don't know, that every time I say goodbye to anybody, be it on the phone or an email or something, I make sure that I, tell them I love them, because I don't know if it's going to be the last time. And you don't know. None of us know. And for some people, if they get this pandemic, it's over in a very short space of time. And so I look at it and go, could be pretty stressful, or it could be one of the wonderful gifts that we get from this. And I think it's important for us to see that our lives have already demonstrably changed because of the pandemic. But I think in a lot of ways, we have learned back in terms of living more simple lives than you were. We have learned, past is chopping up a little bit here, so if it's doing it for you, understand why. And you look at it, there are so many things that we're learning. And so many, I think we're all going back to a simpler life. And I think we're going to find it uncomfortable. I think we're going to find it uncomfortable, when it's, I don't think we'll ever go back to normal, quite honestly, but, when it's back to normal. And Jeannie, I don't know about you, but part of me goes, I think when I go back to my house and all my stuff, I'm going to feel a little uncomfortable when I realize that I have now lived 3 months without it. And quite honestly, I have survived pretty well. I've missed all the gizmos in my kitchen. I don't mind telling you that. But, it's just like, but I have survived quite easily. And I survive in luxury. I can assure you that 99.9% of the world would love to live in the apartment that I'm in. And so I look at it and go, if the worst is yet to come, let us be prepared for that. And if the worst is still to come, let's keep reminding ourselves to stay safe and to do the best we can to be here so that we can bake cookies again next year. And maybe not put on quite as much weight, because we will have learned to adapt to that. And Jody, I really have to thank you for teaching me about intermittent fasting, because I know that if it were not for the fact that I'm capable of doing that, thanks to your input and training, I probably would have a way bigger problem than I've got right at the moment. And so now I know I can have a breakfast smoothie and then not eat again until I go for dinner this evening. Yes, Jeannie's saying, she's looking forward to it. She imagines herself in a home with major appliances, a bed, and new cabinets. Yes, I'm a bit concerned. I'm missing my bed, but I need a new mattress. I'm pretty sure they junked my mattress because it was in the line of fire. Yes, Kez is also talking about Benji and Judy. So, hi, she loves how Benji tells the girls they're beautiful because of their soul and what kind things they do. Yes, it's not the external beauty that he talks to. He talks about their internal beauty. Interesting, Jeannie. I am also thinking about going to a sleep number bed. I am prepared to buy that and pay the extra money and then give up on some other things if necessary, because I think I have proven to myself that a good mattress has definitely helped me, and I think you all have seen that I am sleeping much better and I am a better, I feel better in myself because I'm getting a very different quality of sleep. There are two things I'm thinking that I will get. I know it sounds strange, my mattress, and I want to get my Fitbit back. That is the present I'm going to give myself for Christmas, is Fitbit. As much as this does all the things, quite honestly, I liked my Fitbit. It's one of those things where you go, it just did more and it did it better and I liked it better. Yeah. So I look at it and go, I think what we will learn, Jeannie, is that, we will learn what's important to us. And a good mattress now is very important to me. And there's one that is made that is even more clever than the sleep number. And I've seen it advertised. Now, it's pretty expensive, but again, it has bells and whistles that the sleep number doesn't. So it's just like, I'm looking at it and going, hey, do I want to spend that much money? I also realize that my they want me to decide what tiles I want. And I can't really do that because I haven't spoken to the people who will put the shower in. Until I know what I can afford for a shower, I won't know what sort of tiles to put in. Because if I can afford a wall-to-wall shower, then the tiles will go all the way and up the wall. But if I have a drop-in, what do you call it, a shower kit, right, that is big enough, then I won't need tiles all the way up the wall. So I'll just need them on the floor. Yes, the bed I have at the moment, I actually won't get the mechanism because I already have it. I need the mattress itself. I've got the bed, the adjustable bed thing. So anyway, so that's the whole thing. Here we go. This week, people, be aware. We are going to be as stressed this week as we choose to be. I think that everybody understands that Christmas has changed for us this year. And so therefore, don't worry about stressing out. I also would remind you something that Yvonne and I, my friend Yvonne and I found out, that if you are really good friends with somebody, it's not about December the 25th. It's like, I would love to, celebrate Christmas with you, however we have to do it, but it's not going to be on the 25th. Let's pick a day after Christmas. And that's what Yvonne and I always have done. And the reason we like to do it after Christmas is because all the stress is up until the 25th. Have you noticed it just seems to die away? I don't want to use the word die away, do I? No. It all seems to settle down after that. And so, it's like, don't get stuck on a day. If you're religious, go, I understand that day is very important. And, for those of us who celebrate Christmas Day, that's a whole different thing. So I look at it and go, think about the stress you're putting yourself under and think about how you're going to change it. Yes, Jeannie saying, thanks for the broadcast. It's my pleasure. We told people we're not sending many cards or gifts. I'm not sending any cards this year. I will deliver a couple of cards, but I haven't sent anybody any, and I have told them that. And I, if I get judged for it, so be it. It's just like, okay. Whew, what a week. So one of the things I would say is remember this week to have empathy for others, but also for yourself. Like I had to forgive myself for missing one day of WeFit in 30 days. How many of you are pretty surprised I've managed to do 30 minutes a day for 30 days, well, 29 days. And then I did over an hour on the 30th day. You see, I haven't failed. You all know that. I've worked really hard to try and get fit. And the joke is my weight is still doing this, which after 30 days of doing 30 minutes a day exercise is only due to one reason. What am I putting in my mouth? And therefore, only one person can change that. So here is our reality. Let us be in the mood for Christmas. Let us remember how simple Christmas was meant to be. Let us remember it's not about the gifts. It's about people and how much we love them. And not only are you struggling this Christmas, but so is everybody else. And then be thankful that you are not my friend Patty, who had to say goodbye to her husband, not knowing if she'd ever see him again. Or that you are, not dealing with this at some horrific level. Jeannie's saying, I had to hold onto the banister today, but I did the stairs anyway. Yes, be safe is much more important than be, a hero. And I would say that, Jeannie, and one of the things that I found in one of the things that WeFit teaches you is that it actually uses up more calories to just go at a gentle walking pace for a long time than it does to sort of go fast and then, and then go fast and then stop. But just to continue, it does more for your heart and it does a lot better. So be safe is the number one criteria. I do a lot of the WeFit exercises and I hold onto a chair for balance. And by the way, I've recently started a new WeFit character, avatar, that I'm starting to do some of those exercises without the chair to see how bad it really is. Without the chair. And so as I go, here's another really great quote. Empathy is a strange and powerful thing. There is no script. There is no right or wrong way to do it. It's simply listening, holding space, withholding judgment, and emotionally connecting and communicating that incredibly healing message of you are not alone. Thank you for making sure that I was not alone this week. Thank you for being who you are in supporting me. And thank you for who you are supporting one another. I sincerely believe we will need each other even more in the coming months. This is DearMamaSal saying, you did a great job, and I am very, very grateful. And I look forward to traveling this journey with you and being here for you the way that you were here for me. This is DearMamaSal saying, bye-bye for now.